Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to the Product to Profit webinar. This is Leila Rasegi, and I am a product specialist and pricing specialist. So I help purpose-driven businesses so they can grow their business successfully and sustainably. I help them so they can work smarter, so work less hours, but at the same time make more money and make more of a positive impact in the world. And I have been working a lot with product-based businesses. And what happened recently is I started getting so many questions on the topic of pricing that I decided that it was time for me to do some work around that as well. So I've developed a program on pricing and packages for both products and services. And I am launching it with this webinar. And I'm going to give you the main tips that I would teach in my program. I'm going to teach you some value today so you can get some ideas on the topic of pricing. What I have learned is pricing is one of the things that is the hardest for most entrepreneurs. And people don't know how to set it up. People start copying someone else's pricing. People just guess a number and use it. And it's really, really hard to correct in the future. And the problem is that if you have a price that's too low, you're leaving money on the table. But if you have a price that's too high, you can also be leaving money on the table because people are not going to purchase from you because they're not going to think that what you have is valuable. So with that, I started getting so many questions. Like people were telling me, can you let me know if I have the right pricing? Can you sit with me and talk about pricing? And I started working with people that had coaching businesses, co-working spaces, people that had products, people that offered different services, like healing, naturopaths. So I decided to take all of that knowledge together, put it together in a program, and I'm going to be doing some free trainings around it as well. So that's the backstory of why I'm teaching pricing and why this is for everyone, for every purpose-driven entrepreneur, for products and services. So on that note, I'm going to start sharing my screen with you so you can see the presentation. Okay, here it is. Looks like you'll be able to see the presentation right now. I'm going to stop video so we can just focus on that. And thanks so much to everyone that's watching live. If you have any questions, please go to the chat box on top. There's going to be a black box on top, and it's going to give you the option of chat. So then you can let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I can address them during the training because it's completely live. And you can also tell me what industry you're working in, and then I'll be able to offer you advice specific to your industry. So if you tell me what type of business you have, I'll be able to answer those specific questions. And here's an agenda of the things that we're going to be covering in this training today. First, I'm going to be telling you who this is for, who is going to benefit from this training. After that, I'm going to give you my quick promises for today. I am also going to be sharing with you my story, or pretty much telling you why you should be listening to me when it comes to pricing. Then we're going to be talking about the most common pricing mistakes that entrepreneurs make and what to do instead. And then at the end, I'm going to be telling you how I can further help you, and we're going to do a bit of a Q&A. But if you have any questions that show up at any part of the training, please let me know. You can use the chat box, and I'll address them then as well. So a little bit of my story that I want to share with you today, and that is my picture with a horse because I truly, truly love them. They're my favorite animal. And it looks like there's no sky there. It looks like really, really white. I think it was probably fall time. So I worked in corporate and consumer products and retail for around 8 years. I also worked doing some consulting. And I realized that I was really, really passionate about helping small businesses. I was really passionate because I could see a lot of people with amazing business ideas that lacked the business background to be able to execute and be successful. I started meeting a lot of people that wanted to help the world, that wanted to help other people, but without a clear plan. What they were doing is they were spending money here, they were spending money there, and it was truly a waste of money because they didn't see the results that they wanted to see in their business. And if you're here live, let me know if that's something that you've been through, because I feel like that's something that all of us have been through. And thinking that we were going to make it tomorrow, but we keep on doing the same things every day. We keep on taking the same steps. We keep on investing in the same things, or maybe we feel like our business is not worth to invest in yet. And that's what we keep on doing. That's what we keep on doing. And as I was meeting a lot of people in that circumstance, I decided that I wanted to help them. I wanted to create some programs to support these entrepreneurs that had amazing ideas, wanted to help the world, were amazing at what they did, were extremely passionate about their work, but they needed some business guidance. Because the problem is that if you don't have clarity in your foundations, if you don't have clarity on things like your business model, how you're going to be making money, how you're going to be saving money, things like who your target market is, you're pretty much shooting in the dark. You're just throwing spaghetti on the wall, seeing what sticks. And that's not a way to run your business. You need a strategic plan behind everything you do. And a lot of people tell me they're really busy and they're like, I'm so busy with my business, but then they're still not seeing results. And the thing is, you have to step back and make time to build a plan to make sure that all your efforts are taking you closer to your business vision. So who is this training for? So I am directing this training to people that are a little bit stuck, like the guy in the picture or the lady in the picture. If you're feeling a little bit stuck, whether that is you're stuck at pre-launch, maybe you're not sure if you have all the information that you want for launching, maybe you're stuck at making a certain amount of money in your business and you haven't been able to move past that, or maybe you're stuck at being overworked and tired, because money is not everything. I help my clients make more money and save money because I help them invest in the right things, but I also help them make more time, have more free time to do what they love, to work on the things that they love, to spend time with their family, because we want to work efficiently. Time is the only thing that we have that's non-renewable. You can always make more money, but you cannot make more time. So if you're stuck in terms of timing, in terms of the amount of money that you're making, this is definitely for you. If you haven't launched yet and you're not sure if you have everything that you need for that launch, this is going to be beneficial as well. Your pricing can truly make or break your business. That is not an overstatement. I've seen this happen a lot. And I've seen people that tell me they're not making enough money, so their business is not worth it. And they start questioning their business ideas, when in reality, what happens is that they don't have the right pricing. There's a lot of mistakes that can happen in business that can affect your income. One of the main ones is pricing. If you're not priced right, you're either going to have a lot of sales with a very low income, or you're going to have a lot of sales, but you're not going to be making enough money from it, right? Or another thing that can happen is that you can have a high price, but people don't want your product because it's too expensive. So either way, it can really, really affect the way you do things and can really affect your business results. So low pricing is an issue. If your pricing is too low, not only you're leaving money on the table, but people are going to start questioning your value. People are going to start thinking, what is wrong with this service? What is wrong with this product? Why is it so cheap? There's something here that doesn't match. If you're saying that you're selling the best of the best, but your pricing is low, people are going to be questioning it, because what happens is that people are paying more for things that they value more. So if someone needs, for example, a naturopathic doctor, no one's going to go and say, I want to go to the cheapest doctor, because they care about their health. The same thing with business consulting. People are not going to go and say, I want to get the cheapest business consultant. Pricing is usually not the first thing on the list, especially if you're offering something that people care about. If you're offering something that people need and where they get great value in an area of their lives that is important to them. So low pricing is an issue, but also high pricing, that can also be an issue. If your pricing is too high, for example, if you have a product, stores are not going to take you because they're going to think that no one's going to buy it because this is too high. It may not be convenient for them. You may not fit in with the rest of the things that they have in that category. If your pricing is too high, you also won't be able to reach your target market the same way. They're going to be questioning it. They might not want to spend as much money in what you're offering. The thing is, there's no magic formula to set up price. And I do have a little formula or a little bit of like steps that I'm going to be sharing with you on the next training, but there's no formula where you're going to plug in A plus B equals C. That does not exist. So if you hear people telling you that you have to multiply your cost by 10, that's wrong. If you hear people that are telling you that you just have to double your cost, that's wrong. Or whatever you do, like exponential or whatever formula that people are giving you to put your costs in, that is not going to work. It could or it could not. It's pretty much guesswork. So it's really a huge pet peeve of mine to hear people teach others, oh, you know what, you just multiply your income by 4. You just multiply your costs by 3, or you just look at the amount of money that you want to make and then you double it. That does not exist. There's not a simple formula you can plug in a calculator. There will be numbers involved in pricing 100%, but nothing is the magic formula that you're looking for, unfortunately. So let's talk about the mistakes. The first mistake that entrepreneurs make is to copy their competition's price. And that can go wrong in a lot of different ways. And let me clarify first, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't research your competition, because research is amazing and it helps you understand where you stand. It helps you figure out if you're on the right track. It helps you figure out if people would pay for what you have. So research, thumbs up, 100% something you want to do. The problem is when you're just copying someone's price, because unless you're a commodity, which I don't think anyone here will be, so unless you're someone that's selling something like a bag of beans, like a bag of beans or something that is sold by the pound and you see the prices on the stock market, unless you're in that situation, you should not just be copying a price, because you are unique and what you offer is unique. So the product and the service that you're offering and or service is definitely unique. So when you copy, you're eliminating that uniqueness factor from what you have. The thing is, when it comes to doing research and seeing what your competition is charging, what you must consider is the value that they offer. So it's good to research, but you don't have to copy what other ones are doing. And when I talk about value, I mean, what are consumers getting? When people buy what you guys have, what are they getting? Is it more or is it less than what they're getting with you? Like, what are people truly getting? Are you helping them save time? Are you helping them make more money? Are you helping them feel better? Are you helping them make their families happier? So what is the value that you have versus the one that they have? That's going to change the pricing. As you increase your value, you have to increase your price. That is why just copying doesn't work. If you have a product and yours is let's say you bake cookies. I don't know why at these trainings I love the examples of cookies, maybe because I love cookies. So if you have cookies and someone else has cookies, you're not able to say, okay, their cookies are at $3, so mine's going to be $3. because there's a lot involved here. The fact that they're making, maybe theirs are not gluten-free and yours are. Maybe theirs are not handmade and yours are. So that's why it really changes. I have another client who makes bone broth, for example. So bone broth is a substitute in some way. It could be used the same way as chicken broth, but it's completely different. It's a superfood. It takes hours and hours to make. It has collagen and vitamins. So they can't just go and say, oh, Campbell's chicken broth is $1. I should be $1 too. So when you do your research, you want to look at the lowest price product, but also look at the highest price product. You also want to look at how are they different from you and who's offering more or less value, because that's what's going to help you make the decision on pricing according to the differences and the value that you have and what makes you different. If you do business coaching and you're trying to set up your pricing, you can go and look at a range of how much people are making. But if you just go and copy, you may end up with the pricing of someone that has half the education and experience that you do, or someone that may not offer the same solutions that you have. So that's why it's great to do some research, but you don't have to, and you don't want to just copy what someone else is doing. And if you have any questions, guys, let me know in the chat box. Don't be shy, and I'll be happy to answer whatever you're thinking of. The second mistake, thinking that the cheapest option is best. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. I don't know why, when we start our own business, we think that people are going to buy the cheapest thing and we're going to have more sales and we're helping people and we're going to be really available to them. That's what we think. In reality, that's not what we do ourselves. Going back to the example of the naturopath, like who goes out and says, I want to find the cheapest naturopath? No one really would go out and say that, right? No one would be like, oh, you know what? I want to find the cheapest one. I want to find the cheapest shampoo, even though I have problem hair. Like no one goes out and says that. So if we don't do this ourselves, why do we think that's what people will do? Why do we think that people are only deciding based on price? If that was true, everything in the stores would be plain. The tea would be just plain black tea. The cereal would just be plain cornflakes. And that's not true, because we have preferences. We care about a lot of other things. We care about flavor. We care about the health benefits when it comes to a service. Again, if we say, for example, life coaching or spiritual coaching, we care about someone's experience. We care about the connection we have with them. We care about so many things that are not just price. So that's how you work yourself. So why would you think your clients are going to think differently? In fact, the thing is, when it comes to the lowest price, instead of getting more sales, it can be the opposite. You can get a lot less sales, and I'll explain why. We as people, like think about the last time you went shopping. We perceive the cheapest thing as something that has less value. We perceive it as something that is worse. We perceive it as something that has less quality and that can get us less things. So again, same thing with services, right? If we really care about our taxes, we're not going to go out there and say, you know what, I want the cheapest accountant possible. No, we're going to think, who can help me? Who's going to do the job right? And without me needing to make that much of an effort, because to be honest, like I've heard cases of people hiring accountants and the accountant actually asks them to do a lot of the work. And then I'm like, what are you even paying? In Spanish, we have a saying that it translates as the cheapest thing turns out to be the most expensive. And it's because when we're not paying for something that has high quality, when we're not paying for something that fulfills all of our needs, we end up paying for it. We end up wasting time. We end up having to do it again. Like how many people have had the experience, and if you're here live, let me know if you've had this experience, of trying to save money when you hire someone, for example, like a graphic designer or someone to help you clean your house or something like that. And you've noticed that the service was not really high quality, that it didn't really work out, right? That has happened to me. And what in a moment you thought, okay, this cannot be that bad. It sounds like this person has experience. It sounds like this would be good. But then you realize, honestly, you just end up wasting your money, because then a lot of the times you have to pay someone to do it again. And that's what happens. If you have a cheaper product or a cheaper service, people are going to think that you're not as good. And they might end up picking your competition that has higher price than you, is making more money, even if they have less experience than you. So that's mistake number 2. People pay for what they value, right? So you don't want people to perceive you as something of less value, especially if it's something that they care about. If it's something that they really need, if it's something for their children, if it's something related to their health, if it's something that is related to their business and their business is their life, they will pay for what they value. And when it comes to coaching services like business or life coaching, people will pay you for what they value. So sometimes there's even an element, actually always there's an element of people getting better results when they invest more, because they are also psychologically invested in what they're getting from you. And in the service industry mostly, but also sometimes with products, the problem is owning your own value. Sometimes you have to do mindset work and connecting with yourself, meditating, whatever helps you, or working with someone in that aspect, because you don't think you're worth it. You don't think that what you're creating is worth it. So there's an element here of something that you need to address in order to get to a level in which you can say with confidence, this is how much I charge and this is why. The third mistake, it's increasing price without increasing value. So this happens a lot in the service industry and sometimes with products. In the service industry, we see people say, okay, I'm going to triple my prices. I'm going to 10x my prices, because that's a strategy. You start making more money and you attract better people or whatever. And they do it because a coach told them that they had to triple their prices or double their prices. So they went out and they did it. And they didn't really watch out for the fact that you have to increase value. You have to offer people better solutions in order for them to pay more when it comes to your pricing. If you're all of a sudden doubling your prices, but that doesn't really feel good to you and that doesn't really connect with your target audience, you will definitely not increase your sales. And going back to the previous point about charging what you're worth and owning your value, it's the same backwards. If you don't feel connected with the new price, you're not going to be able to triple your prices and own it and be confidently sell it, because it's not going to be a good fit for you. It's not going to feel good. So you have to own the price that you're going to be charging. It has to feel good for you. Maybe it can feel a little bit of a stretch, but it has to feel good. It has to feel like it fits. Because you always have to match price with value, right? So if you increase a price in something, it's because you added a feature in your product, or it's because now you have more experience as a service and you're able to help people more. It's because you included a new freebie, because you included a new training video. So what are you including in order to increase price and then increase the value at the same time? The fourth mistake, offering discounts with no limiters. And I'm gonna go deep into this one because this is not something that's openly discussed. This is not something I don't think I've ever seen in any training, in any business coaching training or business consulting training. And this is something that I learned in corporate when I worked in consumer products. We were going deep when it comes to consumer psychology and how people shopped. So you want to have a discount with a limiter because your discount is a special event. So what are limiters, you might ask? So how do I limit my promotions? You might have guessed that some of the limiters are time, number of people, number of purchases, and special occasions. So for example, when it comes to a time limiter, you will only get this offer in the month of May. That's a time limit. Or 48-hour sales or 24-hour sales. You've seen them, I'm sure, and there's a psychology behind them. There's a psychology behind limiting the amount of time that this is being offered. It makes it special. It makes it unique. Another way of limiting is by the number of people that get it. The first 10 people will get this. The first 20 people will get this. And that's also another limiter. Even some grocery stores do that. They will tell you that the first 10 people that come to the store can get the special price of this much, right? And then the next thing is number of purchases. So this happens a lot with products, right? They do, you can purchase a maximum of 2 items or 3 items. And special occasions. Just for Mother's Day, we're gonna do this. Or on your birthday, you get this specific discount from Anthropology, which is a clothing store I really like. So these are all the things that can limit your discounts. And the reason why is not only because you don't want to offer discounts openly and you may spend a lot of money, right, on subsidizing those discounts. It's also because of psychology. When people don't know that there's a limit to the promotion that they're getting, they're thinking that you're doing it because you really need the money, or you're doing it and maybe this is not that good, maybe nobody wants it, and that's why there's a limit. So there's an aspect of psychology. There's also an aspect of you watching your spending when it comes to this, right? Because you may what if you get 2,000 people getting the discount? Like, can you afford those people, all those people getting the discount? You probably can't. Don't get people used to purchasing on sale only. And when I was promoting this workshop, I did a video on toilet paper and pricing. I don't know if you saw it. And the thing is, that's a throwback from when I was working in corporate. I worked in strategy, and I also worked as a buyer at a supermarket. And toilet paper was a joke when I was there, but it wasn't a joke for the reasons that you're thinking. It's not a joke because of like classroom jokes of ha 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 toilet paper. Like, it's not. It's a joke because I think it was 80% or close to 90% of toilet paper is only purchased on sale. What that means is that people have gotten used to buying it on sale, so they will not spend more money for it. They will just buy what's on sale when they need it. And the other thing that doesn't help is that you can buy like 50 rolls or something. You can get a ton of toilet paper, so then you can buy it on sale and save it in a little warehouse and just leave it there and not care, right? So people are not brand loyal. They don't care about the brand. They don't care much about even softness or all these things that they do. It's just sold on sale. So their pricing has built pretty much a cushion in their margins for these sales that happen, because people are only going to buy it like that. They're only going to buy it when it's like 80% off. So you don't want to be like toilet paper. You want to differentiate yourself. So not only you're going to really, really put your value everywhere in your marketing, but you also want to make sure that when you do a discount, it's for a special occasion. So when you discount, you do it for a show. You do a discount on a specific day, on a specific time, you do a discount. And you limit with all of the things that we saw before. you have to pick at least one limiter. You limit a promotion by the amount of time. You can limit it by the number of people that get it, the number of purchases, and special occasions. Let me know if there's any questions, guys, and I'll be happy to help you out. So you can just hover on top and you can see the chat box there. And I think yours would be in the bottom. Mine's on the top. But there's, it says chat, and then you can let me know if you have any questions that I can answer live for you. And you can type them. You don't have to like show your face or anything. Sorry. So you don't want to get people used to just purchasing your products on sale, right? That can happen. When people have a special sale a month, people are like, they're going to know when the sale is, and they're only going to buy when it's on sale for a discounted price, which makes you lose money, but it also damages your brand equity, the way people see your brand, the value of your brand, how much your name is worth. And here's a quick story from a client of mine. This is one of my product clients. This is Kate Harvey, and she has a Bare Bones, which is a bone broth company that I was mentioning before. So this is a superfood. And when it comes to pricing and value, we worked on that with her. We worked on that. We are right now still in the process of figuring out when it comes to discounting and when it comes to her pricing, like how can it vary from channel to channel when it comes to, like, for example, selling at a discounted channel or selling at a big supermarket or selling at a corner store, because there are definitely a lot of different pricing strategies for products. So that's what we're working on with her and with a lot of my clients, is figuring out what's the right pricing for you. How can you have the right margins that allow you to go to different places and be able to discount and to pay for things like allowances, etc., from this amount, from this margin, right? So we have a question. How much sales would be too many sales? Sorry. Okay. Hi, Diane. I'm happy to answer that. I think that your question relates. And by the way, you can get the replay after. You'll get an email with the replay, so then you can catch up with the beginning of the training. But Diane is asking how much sales would be too much sales. And I think that this is related to what I was talking about earlier when it comes to limiting your discounts. I think that's what you're referring to. And I mentioned that when you limit your discounts, there might be like an unexpected, extremely big sale, and then you're like, oh, I cannot afford this. So there's not a number that I can give you of how many sales would be too many sales, but this is what I can tell you. I can give you an example. So I've seen people that have small businesses, and they, for example, they have a product, and then they list the product and they participate in a sale, and like a 50% off anniversary sale from the store that they're in. And they forecast sales of, let's say, 1,000 items for 50% off, and they're like, okay, I'll be good. But then they realize that they actually didn't limit it enough. So then they ended up having to pay for double the amount of items at 50% off. I don't know if I'm explaining correctly, but for example, if you're discounting things for 50% off, and let's say you were ready to pay $2,000, and then if you didn't limit it enough, and then you end up paying $5,000. So obviously you want to sell more. Selling more is always great, but you want to have an accurate forecast of how much is that going to represent for your company, because you're paying for that discount, right? So that's why you want to limit it as well. And then when it comes to service providers, I've also seen people that say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do an anniversary sale, and I'm going to be selling I don't know what you do. Let me know, Diane, so I can give you a better answer for your area of work. But for example, people that have a service, like I've seen some coaches that say, oh, I'm going to do a special sale of 50% off because it's my birthday. And then they realize they're like working with 50 people for 50% off now. So they were not prepared to get that hit in their income, in their bottom line, which is the accumulated discount of a bunch of people that are getting this on sale. Let me check the chat. I see child-friendly cowering space. I sell memberships. Yeah, exactly. So, for example, in your case, that's a really cool business. In your case, you co-working space. Okay, gotcha. Child-friendly co-working space. Oh, amazing. So in your case, you want to be really careful, because if you say memberships 50% off for the next year, and then everyone signs up like that, you'd be like, oh man, like now my income for the whole year is going to be 50% off from all these people that sign up on sale. So that's what you want to avoid, right? When you want to, and when it comes to answering the question, how many sales are too many sales, or how many sales are too many sales for discount, you'll have to pull out some numbers and see how much you can afford to give. That's pretty much it. But yeah, that's what happened. So let me know if you have any additional questions or any follow-up on that. But yeah, that's the long answer. The short answer would be you have to look at your finances, and you have to make sure that you do a forecast of how much you're going to be having on sale, and limit it, right? To say, okay, I can afford 20 people that come here on a special promo. I cannot afford 100. So that's how it would go. So I'm glad that helped. So I'm going to give you a bonus mistake. And this is for people that have services. So, for example, this is for people that do graphic design, or people that do any sort of coaching or virtual assistants. So I know that this might be different. This might be something you've never heard, and is charging by the hour. And I'm going to tell you why that's a mistake. And I'm going to tell you with an example. So I had a coworker in corporate, and we both quit our jobs almost at the same time. And this is the problem that she came to me with. She was like, okay, so I have a problem. And I said, what happened? And she said, when I started doing this, I could not manage the computer program properly. So then I was charging people, it was taking me a long time to do it. And I was charging by the hour. So I was charging $50 an hour. And it took me an hour and a half to do this. But now that I'm really good at this, it's taking me 20 minutes. And I don't want to be unethical, and I don't want to lie to people and tell them that it took me an hour and a half, because it really didn't take me that long. So now I'm making a lot less money than I made before. So isn't that interesting? So if you're charging by the hour, what's happening is you're charging people less when you learn how to do this better. So as you learn more, things will take you less time. So if you're using time as your way of charging, you're going to be making less and less money as your business gets older and older. So that really doesn't make sense, right? So that's why charging by the hour is not the way to go. If you're really interested in the topic, well, you can either work with me and I'll help you get out of that. And you can also read the book Value-Based Fees. And it talks all about that. So if you're a service provider, you want to get away from charging by the hour. And yes, I've heard it all. And you're going to say, but every one of my clients is different, and I don't know how long it's going to take me. There's always a way to put packages together. There's always a way to put packages together, and maybe adding a level of extras that you can add on. But that's the way to go, is to productize your service, which means creating packages. So that's something that I also help people do. So yeah, you want to charge by the not only by time, but you want to charge by things that consider your level of experience, how long it took you to get here in your business, etc. And this is another client story. So what we did with her name is Lisa and Linda. What we did with Linda was that we created packages for her. She was actually charging by the hour. She was charging people for her coaching services by the hour, and we created a package, ABC, for her to be able to offer, and people would fall in either of those 3 buckets, and that's what she started selling. Because when you charge by the hour, you're not only charging, if you think about it, you're only charging time, but there are other things that people have to compensate you for, which is like your level of experience, the amount of time you've been in the industry, your education, the way you do things, the results that they're going to get from you. So you have to make sure that you charge for all those things. What if you sell time? So I got the question, what if you sell time, which relates to a co-working space. And in that case, I would say there's always, you're selling a service, right? You're selling a service or you're selling a space. So yeah, 3-hour time slots. Okay. So when it comes to that, what I would say is you can also create packages. So if your co-working space offers different benefits, so for example, if it offers yoga classes, or if it offers access to a common room, you can create a package including that. So that would be a package. I understand you have to include time in your packages, and a lot of us do, right? For example, my packages would include a certain number of hours with me. So you can include time, but you also get away from that. And it's also not your time that you're selling. So it's a little bit different, right? So what I was referring to before is people that are selling their own time. But in your case, I would say create packages that include those extras and make people, have people pay for those extras. So if you're including meeting room time, or if you're including special events, you're including that in your packages and adding more value and increasing the price as you increase that value in your case. But yeah, but so it's always good to have those packages and those levels. And just a special tip for you, maybe you're already doing this. If you have a co-working space, you can, as people commit to working with you or to working there for longer periods of time, you can decrease the amount that they're paying per hour of use space, right? So for example, if someone commits to a whole year, you can give them a better rate per hour in that case. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's a great strategy. Yeah, and always think, what extras can I include in order to increase the value that I'm giving people, right? So that's a little bit different, because if you have a space, yeah, you have to tell people how many hours they're getting, right? If you have a space. But if you have a service in which you're giving your time, that's when you can create a package that includes more value, and it's not just focused on the amount of hours. Thanks for participating, guys. So this is my world famous hamster versus squirrel entrepreneurship metaphor. So we've all been here. We've all been a hamster. Hamsters are going on that wheel, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over every single day, expecting different results. Squirrels are different. They work smarter. They plan for the future. They have a strategic plan of how they want to do things. They know where they're going. They save for the future. They work hard right now to rest later, right? This squirrel has all her little peanuts that she's gathered, right? So the hamsters are going on the wheel, and they're doing the same things every day. They know these things are not quite working, but that's all they know. And it's easier. It's easier to stay there. I don't know if you've been there. I have certainly been there. I've been there in that situation, thinking that maybe if I try a little bit harder, I'll do it on my own. Hamster entrepreneurs are also the ones that want to do everything on their own. They're the ones that think that they're going to achieve everything by doing the same things, right? The same thing that they've been doing over and over and over again, right? So we've all been there. I have been there when I started my business. And thanks so much for your comments and participating, guys. And for the ones that are saying that you joined late, you're going to get the replay, I think, by tomorrow, or if not, by Thursday, and you can watch it all. So, yeah, so we've all been there. So we have to make a choice. We can either wake up and do the same things over and over and over and over, expecting different results, or we can choose to work smarter and actually make a plan. I can't believe the amount of people that would reach out to me and would say something like, I'm too busy to make a plan. I'm too busy running my business to plan. And that to me sounds like someone saying that they're too dirty to have time to shower, right? Like, I do understand that we're busy with everyday work, but you have to always focus on the important more than the urgent. So what are the important things that are moving the needle in your business? And a plan 100% you have to have, because if not, all you're doing is a collection of random actions that may or may not take you where you want to go. So what is it costing you? What is it costing you to stay where you are? How much money do you keep on wasting on things like Facebook and Facebook ads and PR and shows and all these things without giving you the results that you want? Maybe they move the needle a little bit, but you're not sure what the plan is. If someone asks you what you're doing, you say, look, oh yeah, today I'm doing this, and tomorrow I'm doing another thing, and then the next day I'm doing a different thing. So it's just a collection of random actions. It's not running a business. It's like running it like a hobby, and it affects you. It's costing you because every month you're making less money than what you think you can make. If you think you can make $10K a month and right now you're making $2,000, it's costing you literally $8,000 a month. That's a cost, right? For every penny that you think you're saving, not getting support, you're losing money that you're not making in your business. You're also losing the ability to live in purpose. It also affects your personal life and your family life. It affects you when it comes to the time you have. Maybe you're working too hard. So not having a plan and staying where you are is costing you in a lot of different ways. In lost money, lost opportunities of making more money, and satisfaction, feeling good in business. It affects you in all of those ways. So if you want pricing help and you're ready to talk, to get professional help, to get someone that can support you, if we haven't connected yet, I offer complimentary strategy sessions, and you can apply for them on my site. And let me see, the link's not here. That's unfortunate. Well, I'll give it to you in the chat box. So if you want to have a conversation when it comes to pricing and when it comes to business in general, I offer complimentary strategy sessions, and you can apply at leilarasegui.com/session. And I'm going to put it here for the people that are live. I'm going to put it here in the chat box. And for the ones that are watching the replay, it's leilarasegui.com/session. So these sessions are for people that haven't connected with me yet, with people that haven't worked with me yet, for people that want some support and some clarity on next steps. So in this session, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the current state of your business. We're going to be talking about where you want to go in your business and how to take you there. We're going to be talking about clear next steps. And this is not motivational speak or cheerleading. We get really deep when it comes to your foundations. So I'll be offering you some ideas of next steps. And if working with me is something that I feel could benefit you, I'm going to tell you about my programs, or maybe I'm going to send you to someone else, or I'm going to send you another resource. So the idea is to get you clear next steps and support for your business. And Serena's sharing that, oh, that's so cool, baby food catering business. Make organic baby food and deliver it to parents. Yeah, Sabrina, that's really amazing, because I actually work with a client that does organic soap delivery. So that's something that we've been working on, how to model that. It's an interesting model, the delivery one. So that's something that I have been working with when it comes to soap. So I would love to have a chat with you. And when you visit leilarasegui.com/session, there'll be a form for you to fill out, whether you're watching live or the replay, that will help me learn more about your business and where you're at. and then I'll send you a link for you to book a chat with me. So it's a completely free chat, complimentary, half an hour. We talk next steps for your business. We give you some clarity so you get out of the hamster wheel, so you get unstuck, and so you can go out and fulfill the business of your dreams. And let me share here. Yeah, I am here. Yay. So the thing is, when it comes to your business, and now you can see my face again, it's really important to make the right amount of money, to be compensated. If you're compensated well enough, you're able to make a bigger impact in your business. If you're not compensated enough, you're going to be struggling, you're going to be less motivated. So money is important. The other thing that's really, really important is time. You want to make sure that you build a business that grows efficiently and sustainably. We don't want to build a business that has ups and downs. And we don't want to build a business in which you have to work 12-hour days in order to make a living, right? So that's what I help you do. And those are the next steps I'm going to be offering in that complimentary session. So then again, the link is leilarosegui.com/session. And it's absolutely free. And I book 5 a week for people that I know I can help during the call, with people that I know that I can offer some clarity to. That's why it's by application only. So that's everything I have for you today. And first, I want to thank everyone that attended live. I want to thank you for your questions, for participating, for sharing, for being vulnerable. And you could be anywhere right now and you decided to spend your time with me. So thank you. I also want to thank everyone that's watching the replay, and thanks so much for giving me your time, even if it was after the live event. So thanks so much to everyone. Thanks so much to everyone that follows me. I appreciate your support, and you're the reason why I do what I do, and I quit my comfy corporate job, and now I am working on helping businesses with a positive purpose. So with that thought, I leave you. Thanks again so much for being here. Have an amazing day. And if you need that support and you're ready for that next step, you can apply for a session. leilarosegui.com/session. Have an amazing day, everyone.